Garman for SIT on NZDP 101. And I'm looking at split toning, which we deal with in week 4 of the paper. And of course, Adobe has changed this in the current version of Photoshop, and they've introduced this color grading option instead of split toning. Now, I have put a link up on the Blackboard site to Greg Ben's photography, which deals with this in a helpful tutorial. However, it does deal with a lot of things that we haven't got to yet. If you want to watch that, really the useful stuff starts around about the 3.5 minute mark. But I want to do something that's really a bit more basic and start looking at color grading just from the beginning. So I've got this fern image open up in Adobe Camera Raw. This is 13.1, the version. So if you're on that, which is the current version, then you should be seeing the same kind of things that I am seeing at the moment. If you're on an older version, then it may even be that you still have the older split toning controls, and the information for that is on Blackboard still. So here in Camera Raw, under the palettes on the right, we've got this new color grading function. Just before I do that, I'm going to work with a black and white image because I think it will just demonstrate things a little more clearly. So right at the top, I'm going to click black and white and then open up color grading. So some of this is familiar. We have these shadows and midtones and highlight options. When we click on each one of those, it takes us to a new color wheel. And then we have a fourth button, which is a new one, which is global. So that really affects all 3 of those at once: shadow, midtone, and highlights. So, and we get a color wheel for that one as well. So let's start with shadows. And first of all, just want to make the point that we've got this little triangle here that opens up more controls for us. So when that's closed, we see luminance, blending, and balance. When we can add the hue and saturation by opening this. So down to you what you want to achieve with the image that you're working on. For this image, turning it to black and white then means I can begin to add back in some color. So we might perhaps start here with a green. So it's probably in the roughly the right area on the hue slider. Saturation, when we increase that, we begin to start to see the color subtly to begin with come in. So I might want to set it somewhere in the middle. So remember, we're just working with the shadows at the moment. We can also, if we prefer, we can work on the actual color wheel and move things around here as well. But we'll set it back to there, and again backwards and forwards. So then we have luminance, and this really is about the brightness of the colors that we see. So first of all, let's just go through and develop some colors for the midtones. We might move a little bit more to yellows, which is going to make the colors a little bit more of an olive green. And we'll go to highlights. And again, I'm going to stay in the yellows and increase that. The saturation. So one point to make up here is that we've got an eyeball icon which enables us to switch on and off. What I'm doing is I'm clicking and holding the mouse down to do that. We can then view the changes that we've made. We can do that individually with each individual change that we've made. But one other thing that we can do is click on these 3 dots, and we then see all 3 color wheels together. And although they're actually hidden, when you mouse over these wheels, you'll see an eyeball appears, and we can turn off, for instance, we can turn off the adjustments we made to the shadows and see what sort of effect that leaves. We've got highlights here and midtones at the top. So that gives us great flexibility with adjusting each edit that we've made. We've got the sliders at the bottom of each of these as well. When we click back to, for instance, shadows, we go back to the full-size color wheel. Now we come down to the blending and balance options, and both of these have an overall effect on our color grading. Blending is how much color values are mixed or feathered together. So if we have blending set at 0, we're going to, although it's a subtle effect, we will have a harsher effect at 0 than at 100. So we're seeing colours blended in much more at the top end of the scale. Let's set that back in the centre. For the balance slider moves the colour editing up or down the colour range. So have a play with those sliders on your own images. And this really is a basic introduction to what used to be split toning, now is colour grading. And you'll find a bit more detail on the Greg Benz photography link